Hey Skyfarers, and welcome to Aethercast, the Kharadron Overlords channel and podcast, where today we're doing a little bit of an AoS Worlds catch-up. We have a special guest, Mr. Svend Kristensen. Welcome to the show, Svend.
Thank you.
Glad to have you. And joining me, as always, we have Thunderer from Down Under, Mr. Alexander Krohn.
Morning, everyone.
Morning, Krohn.
We just
it's winter, apparently.
Yeah.
We just woken quite up. I have a feeling we've got a bit of a lag, unfortunately, as well. And our Dwarden Prime, sort of, because Svend is challenging him for the title, Mr. Max Baumann.
Hello, everyone.
So Dwarden Prime, obviously, I'm referring to the Celestant Prime, which we'll get to in a little bit, but there's a little bit of a hint in the artwork there for the show for everyone. But before we talk about AoS Worlds, there is news afoot, all sorts of news in the AoS world. So there's been some official stuff for the GHB. It's coming soon. And it's going to be a yearly GHB. How do you guys feel about that?
Relieved. 6 months was very stressful to keep up with, I feel. You only got used to it. You just got used to it, and then it's changed again. Every time you get the feel for the thing, you have to go to the next one. Yearly is you can breathe a bit. You can live the GHB.
I mean, we had yearly, and the battle plans, some of them were very poor, so people started making up their own. So it was good we got a new book. But yes, as Krohn says, for most people who don't play as excessively as maybe some of us, if you play free games and then there's a new rule and you need to buy a new book for what is it, £35 these days at GHB?
$80.
And you need to buy another one, so maybe it's a bit much. Plus, we still keep the quarterly updates, so small rule updates and points. So I think that's perfectly fine.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I feel like if they weren't doing rules changes and they were just going to release some extra battle times, it would be fine. But because they're doing all these things with Galician champions and wizards now, apparently, and that sort of stuff, that big changes to battle tactics, I think that's where the issues come in. Not so much the battle plans.
Yeah,
they're the things that you need to try and.
Yeah, I mean, we had monsters, then conquerors or bounty hunters, basically. Then Galician champions, which I think was a good thing. I hope they keep it as a battalion, maybe. We'll see.
I think the loss of the Galician champion shooting defense is going to be a huge buff to us.
Yeah, unless they keep it as a battalion, the same they did with the veterans. The two.
I hope they will keep it, to be honest.
Yeah, in some sort, yeah.
Yeah, but I actually think the battle plans is if the battle plans was really bad, like the last edition, I think that could be a little problem for the game. So I think this what you call it, GHB. This, what you call it? I can't remember. But I think the battle plans season, exactly. The season of the battle plans, they haven't been that wonky, so it's been more enjoyable to play.
Yeah, except twists and turns.
Yeah, okay, twists and turns.
Just random.
That's the only one I think.
Yeah, who's going to win this game? Roll some dice to find out.
Yeah. Lurkers is the weird one. Well, okay.
Yeah.
But Locus is you can still play it, and I think it's not that wonky. The last season you can burn objective, and that was more wonky, I think. But
it was much more powerful to give away turn to burn.
Yeah.
Then now, I get an extra CP or I get 2 heroic actions. Like, I don't know. The incentive isn't as high as it used to be.
Okay. So let's look at some of the stuff they've revealed so far. We have optimal focus, which is at the start of the battle round after priority is determined. The player taking the second turn can pick one friendly hero on the battlefield. If that hero is an Andorian Locus, which basically means if they're a wizard, they can attempt to cast one extra spell and then attempt to unbind one extra spell in the battle round. If they are not an Andorian Locus, you get an extra command point that can only be spent to allow that hero to issue a command. So
we're getting +1 command point. That's what we're getting.
Yeah, we're getting extra CP.
So it's like what's it called? A code write? You get an extra CP.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Does this work on unique characters?
I assume it's gonna be the same like champions, like 9 or less wounds, not mounted, blah blah blah.
Yeah, I think they said it's going to be 9 or less wounds in the article.
Okay.
Yeah. Because if this works on Texas
9 or less wounds won't be unique.
Or Croak or something like
Yeah.
that.
Or Croak, then it's stupid.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
I mean, an extra
based
spell,
on-
an extra unbind in that battle round, so you get 2 extra spells, or like 1 extra unbind, 1 extra spell. So that's good.
Yeah.
If you have a wizard.
Yeah, it makes Arcane Tome even better.
If Arcane Tome makes
because
you
Arcane Tome
Andorian, I don't know. Why
Yes.
do you always choose these weird names? A Locus. If it makes you a Locus, then and you're still allowed to access the lore, sure. But I see other problems with that, and I can hear a cat.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's not mine. Because mine's outside.
No. This is not very exciting for KO, really, is it? Because we've got lots of ways of getting command points already. So
Yeah.
It all comes down to
I'm-
further questions about the spell lore these Locus get. Can allies choose the spell lore? Is it an enhancement or not? Blah blah blah. So can my Knight Incanter take this or not?
Yeah, because I think they said there's going to be a spell lore in the GHB. So
Yeah, we
a
only
bit like
know
we had.
one of them.
Yes, which is a nice segue. You're natural, Sven. So, which is Wharfrost, which is I'm sure has been getting a lot of chatter about online in various places, because there's a casting value of 8 and a range of 12, and if it's successfully cast, you pick one friendly unit wholly within range and visible, and you pick one melee weapon profile, not unit's war score, roll a d3. You can change the to hit, to wound, or the rend characteristic of that melee weapon to match the result until the start of your next hero phase. So that's a powerful spell.
Yeah,
basically.
pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Just cast
melee
melee, though.
weapons. Why is it not missile
melee
weapons?
only.
Because
I love Ren
if
5.
they did missile weapons,
shooting.
everyone would complain.
It is very good. It's cast on an 8, so difficult to cast, but if you have a caster that gets bonus, or we will see there's options to get bony to casting for these Loki, whatever the plural is. It is a very good spell.
It is.
It makes units with a lot of attacks but no rend very good. Like flesh eaters, ghouls,
Splinter Fangs.
And
Splinter Fangs. Yeah.
it's a little bit
Sandals.
random as well, because obviously you might roll like a 1 or something, but
Well, then you go for
I mean,
it to
you
hit
changed-
wounds, yeah.
to hit or something, or to wound, depending, which characteristic is worse on your unit to begin with. This is very good. If you have a unit that wounds on a 5 or something, then you change it to wound on a 1.
Like
That's a
zombies.
massive buff.
Hitting on 5s or
Yeah.
something. Now they're hitting on 2s.
Yeah.
Mm,
Oh,
that's
watch out for
a
those
lot of
gun
attacks.
butts.
So
Gun butts meta. Here we go.
Oh, the Aceling. Finally, your 2 damage frigate. It's about to get to Ren 3.
So is this
Yes.
gonna be the best spell in the lore, or
I don't know. I don't think so. I think
because
it's
if
gonna
this
There's
be-
probably
is
something
the standard,
crazy like a teleport
Yes, of course.
There's gonna be like
You'll get a teleport where you don't have to be
everyone
9
gets
inches
D6
away.
mortal.
So.
Like, I don't know.
Yeah, +6 to charge or something stupid.
I think I've seen some rumors that was +6 inch range on missile weapons, but I'm not sure if that was true or not. Like I've seen someone shared some rumors, but they seemed a bit like wishlisting. They seem very wishlisting because they were very strong. Those spells.
Okay.
Might take them out in the meantime.
Yeah, so I mean, it's an interesting spell. It quite in some ways it's quite good for KO if you do take Arcane Tome and assuming you can access the lore to do it. Because we can just put a caster quite far away, so we're out of unbind range. At least for the first turn.
It's still cast on an 8.
Yeah,
but yeah.
So... Hopefully, there's arcane terrain.
If we want to go through, these are rumors. So maybe they're just wishlisting. Yes. But there was one D6 +6 inch extra range to missile weapons, or 1 attack to missile weapons. I mean D6. That's between 7 and 12 inch extra range. That seems stupid. Then there is a 1 caster cannot move but gets +1 save on a 4 aboard. And then there was 1 D6 visible units take D3 mortal wounds each and half their movement. So it's a bit like a.
Is there any range on that one?
No. Was the
caster anything visible on the battle?
I don't know. Visible units, so it could be everyone. Yeah, I don't know. It seems a bit.
That's
very strong spells.
Well, it's D6 units. So yeah, and then primal magic, extra dice in casting, unbinding or dispelling, but 1d3 mortal wounds and the action fail on a double. So yeah, you get an extra casting dice. What does that mean? That Chaos Sorcerer Rods can cast with 4 dice? I don't know.
I don't know. I've also heard another rule about primal magic, so I will share that in a minute.
Yeah, so I don't know. Could be bonkers.
Yeah, because there's meant to be. I haven't made a screen share for this, but there was a rumor that's come through. Where is it? If I scroll past it.
Rumors from what I would call a reliable source.
This is fantastic television that we're doing.
Excellent, good. Well, I wasn't going to do the rumors yet, and you switched to rumors, man.
That's what people want to know.
What's ready.
Come for.
People have seen
rumors.
Maybe.
Have you seen the battle tactics?
Oh, I'm in the wrong chat.
Oh yeah, I've seen battle tactics.
I have them. I have them shared. I have a screen share.
They were. Okay. I'm thankful for battle tactics.
Yeah,
because they are not easy.
Good time for
so primal dice. Right at the start of each turn, both players roll a dice. For each 4+ rolled, both players get a primal dice. If both players get a 4+, then there's 2. Both get 2 primal dice. Then, when casting, after you've made the casting roll, but before any rerolls, so it can't be used with a reroll, you can add a primal dice into your casting value and roll for the result. So you can, after rolling, you can add a 3rd dice for your casting roll. You can do this as many times as you like. So if you've got 2 primal dice, you could add a 3rd and a 4th. That's what I understand.
Okay.
And then your opponent rolls their unbind and can do the same. So you can potentially do a 4d6 unbind.
Mm-hmm.
So there's going to be a little bit of a... and there's going to be a lot of turns decided on whether, I got a 4+ and you didn't. So I've got a primal dice and you don't.
No, both get 1 then. That's what you just explained.
Yeah.
If only one player rolls
up, they each roll a dice.
Yeah.
No, so
those dice are shared.
If I roll a 4 up, I get a primal dice. If you roll a 4 up, you get a primal dice. If we both roll a 4 up, we get 2 primal dice each.
Only if we both roll a 4 up. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So you get 1 each, but if you both get 1, then you get 2 each.
I thought it was.
So it's gonna be
the way I
like-
read it was, if you roll a 4-up, both players get a primal dice. If they roll a 4-up, both players get a primal dice. If you both roll a 4-up, both players get 2 primal dice.
Oh, for each 4 plus roll per person. Okay, yeah, sorry. So there won't actually, yeah, you're right. Sorry. So there won't be an instance where someone doesn't have a primal dice, but it's always going to be like, oh, should I use it now, or will my opponent?
There's going to be
love using
instances
something
where
else?
someone doesn't have a wizard to unbind. Welcome
Yeah.
to the
So
show.
navigators are going to be very good right now. Also, if you
unless it says only Locus can use these dice, and the navigator is not a Locus because he doesn't have the wizard keyword. Blah 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 blah. Rune lords cannot use these. Blah blah blah.
if you roll a double 1, you take 3 plus D3 mortal wounds, and you're using a primal dice. You take 3 plus D3 mortal wounds, and everyone within 3 inches takes D3 mortal wounds as well.
Ooh.
Or if you roll a double 6, you can't be unbound.
That's a lot of bookkeeping for casting. Like, this is gonna make hero phases for casting armies even longer.
You ready to double that hero phase for Zinj?
But I like it on Necromancer.
But when you
they
start
don't
looking
care
at
what the
these spells that are cast on an 8, and you think, oh, casting on an 8 is difficult, but you're doing it with 3d6, it's a little bit easier.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Well, and Skaven get +4.
I mean, people are.
Cloak does get like +5. Lumineth gets auto cast. The casting armies are going to have a field day with this GHB.
Yeah.
What I will say is, remember the primal dice when we talk about the battle tactics. Okay, so let's move on, because there is something else we've been shown, which is actually from Cities of Sigmar, which I'm assuming is going to come out around about the same time as the GHB.
I think
I'm
right
guessing.
after.
I don't know.
Supposed to.
Or right after. They're going to be in the next season, anyway. Which is... Was this from the... No, this isn't from that, sorry. That's the next slide. I'm sorry. This is actually from the GHB. So this is one of the artifacts they're adding, which is artifacts of the GHB. I don't know if they're for the Antorians only. Oh no,
probably not,
no, they're not.
because it makes it.
No, because this one is for one that isn't risen. Yeah. So the bearer can attempt to unbind one spell or attempt to dispel one and the spell in the enemy hero phase in the same manner as a wizard, but it doesn't make a wizard. You do things the same as a wizard, which is a bit weird. There's always problems when they do that sort of thing. Each time the bearer successfully unbinds a spell or dispels and then a spell using this ability, they can attempt to unbind an additional spell.
So can my Rune Lord then unbind 3 times with +2?
Potentially, maybe 4 times, because each time, if you use a primordial dice the first time as well, so you're 3d6 with +2 on his unbind, and then he gets that successful, and then he can do another unbind. Yeah, and then you could potentially just keep chaining unbinds.
Yeah, can you blow yourself up on an
Well,
unbind?
assuming your opponent has enough casts.
So yeah, interesting.
So
and you could use the dices. What was the name of the dice?
I think so.
The primal dice.
Primal
but forget
something.
it. A rune lord is an ally. He cannot take an enhancement. He cannot have this.
Oh yeah, fair enough.
Adornment.
Yeah, true. Yeah, that's a good point.
Boring.
One other thing that we don't know about is whether aspects of the champion are going away.
Ooh, I mean, they might be. They were part of. They were a Galatian champion.
Because if they keep it, then it's too much stuff. Then you have a command trait, you have artifacts, you have an aspect, then you have this adornment, or you have a lore spell. Then like your army list is gonna be 2 pages.
And primary dice.
Oh, the adornment is an artifact, is what I understand.
Yeah, but still, no.
Okay.
It's I guess we're gonna get battle tactics, grand strategies, and then some of these, maybe 3 or 4 artifacts, maybe the 5 spells, 6 spells. I know they like to do 6 spells, maybe just 4. I don't know. And perhaps some command traits. I don't know.
Possibly. How do you feel about aspects of the champion going away? Because I really liked using that and having. But
Usually the alpha was good for us.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
I liked it. It gave you some flexibility in list building. Like, oh, do I need a teleport? Oh, do I want to keep this guy alive or leadership?
Yeah.
It was fun.
Yeah.
Okay, at least
Leadership
everyone
of
was losing them. It's not like.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, but it's no. I think it will hurt KO more than some armies because leadership of the alpha in a shooting army is just really good. And another army
unless you're
to get multiple units in combat.
Unless you're Slaanesh and you just all-out attack with 3 units each turn.
Yeah.
Yeah, but built by Groat's Rage on the dude. What is the dude called in Slaanesh? The Epitome. Yeah. That's can hurt also. So you can probably shoot it more easy now.
Yeah, it's like it depends. If we lose the Galician champion thingy 1-inch rule, then I'm fine. I'm bringing out all my drill cannon balloons. Get them out of retirement.
No,
I guess the real question
all-out defense anymore either for the boats, unfortunately.
Which was tricky because you had to announce it start of the phase to do it. And
I don't think I ever did it.
I did it.
I did it once.
It was pretty strong, I think, to do it.
Yeah.
You could see when people want to kill the boat.
Yeah.
And you just go 1-up save.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah.
Although potentially you could give it a 1-up save with the Wharfrost now. So. Oh no, it doesn't do save rolls, does it? Never mind.
No.
If it did save rolls, that'd be really just.
Yeah, that would be stupid.
We already have that.
Yes.
People running around with 0 up saves.
We don't need hordes of zombies or Skaven with 1-up saves.
Oh my god.
No.
I shouldn't have mentioned it. I don't want to give Games Workshop ideas. Oh dear. Okay. This is the thing. This is the thing from Sigmar.
This is the thing from the City of Sigmar ogre with a little guy on top.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So at the start of the battle, this unit is in a fortified position. In addition, at the end of your movement phase, if the unit remains stationary or was not set up, so basically if you didn't teleport him, it can establish a fortified position. Once it's in a fortified position, it remains so until it moves or is removed from the battlefield. So you stop being fortified if you move and teleport.
Pile in.
Yeah. Cool. While it's fortified, you ignore negative modifiers to save rolls for attacks made with with missile weapons that target it. So ignore end on shooting.
Depends on the base save of this guy.
Yes.
How good this
hopefully he has like a 4-up.
I assume he has a 3-up. But
so this is at the start of the battle.
So when he starts,
it's basically whenever he
starts
moves
with his shield down,
or it doesn't move.
And then when if he didn't move in his turn, then he gets his shield back up. It's a bit like the Shining.
So basically, if he doesn't move around,
thingy.
Yeah. Basically, as long as he hasn't moved and hasn't been teleported, then he has his shield up, and he ignores negative modifiers. But it's not the same as being ethereal because it's only negative modifiers. So he can still have positive modifiers, which is a bit stupid.
But it's what Neferata's spell used to be for a long time, and now they felt they need to change it.
Do we know the war scroll?
No, we just seen the miniature and this rule. So I assume since it's like a command dude on top of this ogre, he's probably sitting in the back giving commands to crossbow units. I don't know, and then you cannot shoot me because I have a good save, kind of thing. Maybe that's the idea.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. Maybe.
At least it's only one
guy. We'll see the war scroll on the points, I think, before we can say it's
exactly.
It's good or not.
Yep.
Okay.
9
so we
wounds,
mentioned
real
battle
play.
tactics. Yeah.
Ah,
Battle tactics. Here we have rumored battle tactics for the GHB. So the first one is have more friendly units wholly outside your territory than friendly units within your territory. So I think that was
That's
not
easy.
too bad.
doable.
Easy for KO.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
You need to move one ship.
Yeah. Starting off strong. Yeah.
With
Move on to
everyone
with lots of
inside.
stuff in it.
Whoop.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there we go. The next one, kill an enemy. Before I say the next one, what I like about this one is it doesn't mean that you can just like run 2 random like chaff units out and do it
In a
because they keep
circle.
your whole army back. Yeah,
Yeah.
it makes it harder for like other armies, I think. So
Yeah, it's
a lot
like
of
a
the ways people did,
later turns battle tactic, usually, I think.
Yeah.
Once you move to the
I'll be
midfield,
good
and now
turn
you can say,
5.
oh, okay, I'm going to move 3 units into your territory, and I only have 1 left back. Yeah.
Okay.
It also depends on the
kill
battle plan.
and
Like,
next,
is the territory going to be half or just a little deployment, or
yes.
what's it going to look like?
Yeah, if it's like Railstone Cache, then it's quite easy to get out of your deployment zone.
Yeah, but
It's so
it's
small.
hard to get in. Yeah.
Okay.
It's
The next one
outside.
is kill an enemy.
Yeah. Sorry.
Kill an enemy unit that destroyed. Destroyed a friendly general earlier in the battle. So that is your opponent's got a lot they can do to avoid that happening, because as long as they don't kill a general, then
It's not
you
the
can't
chosen
do this battle
general.
tactic.
It is any War Master
Or a
and
general.
like a general.
So vampires are going to like it because you kill any of their heroes, they're probably a general.
Yeah, most of them are. Like Manfred. And they are also generals outside their own sub-factions. So I think Catacross is, or Archon and so on. So depends. If the
This
general is like a
eye for an eye,
small
but
wound
really
hero.
complicated. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't see this one
The
happening
unit
very
that
often.
destroyed the general.
For us, it means if we lose our admiral, basically.
Yeah.
Which
Then we
that's
try
not
to
a
shoot
place
off
to
the
be
thing
in.
that killed it.
Yeah.
But if
Yeah.
the admiral's in combat, then
I don't know.
and combat and died, then that's a bad
it
time.
could be an easy one, but like if your general just died, okay, I'm gonna kill that unit, but I don't know. It's not easy.
It's like this
Yeah,
one is mine.
thanks.
Kill something with your general. Some armies can use it. And
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like if a unit killed your general, then you kill
Yeah.
that unit. It's just what if
Yeah,
that unit
it's
is
like
already
those
dead?
Yeah, it's like this one is mine combined with an eye for an eye, and that's
yeah.
it's maybe
Yeah,
a bit. I can't.
The next
bit
one's
complicated.
even
I'm
worse.
not sure it's gonna. Yeah, and the next one, I'm not even entirely sure how this is meant to work. I sort of shortened it as well because there was lots of slashes in it, so I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
Because obviously these are rumors. It was pick a unit bonded to an endless spell or incarnate, kill that unit, and make the endless spell wild or controlled by your own unit. But you can't control an endless spell unless you cast it, so that doesn't make any sense.
Kairos
so-
can. Kairos can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
When a bird
Does that
dispels a
mean we're
spell-
gonna see more incarnates?
Maybe.
I don't know.
well,
But
it means we're going to have to keep explaining to people how spell in a bottle works and the fact that it's not controlled.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah,
I think that battle tactic is pretty
Um,
decent for KO, isn't it? Shoot a wizard.
shoot a wizard.
Yes.
Yeah, if we can.
Yeah,
But I'd rather shoot the incarnate. To be
And-
honest.
we're not going to have people using it against us because we won't have any controlled endless spells. So
But we're gonna bring the
That's
two
good for Cat.
new incarnates. The Frost incarnate. It's gonna give plus 10 inch on missile weapons.
okay. The next one is cast one or more spells and ensure none of your spells that turn are unbound.
Yeah, so how does that
So
work?
it starts
with
off sounding
bottle?
easy.
Is that just an auto? Can we just get it?
Yeah, I think it's an
cast
auto.
outside of 30 inches. That's one way to do it.
Spell not
That's-
bottle?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah, spell on a bottle, I
use
think,
your
just does it.
primal dice.
Like, yeah, what if you just spell in a bottle something and then you were like, cool,
Yeah.
I cast one spell, you can't unbind it, now I have my battle tactic done.
I like that.
Yeah.
I think that's battle tactic sounds pretty turn 1 auto.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just
Now,
It's
the
this-
hero in the
You
back,
can't
out
open
of
Salvo.
unbind range, just gonna cast with plus 10 and primal dice and who knows what.
Yeah.
Done.
Yeah. I think where this is interesting more is for stuff like Lumineth, where they want to cast loads of spells. Because every extra spell you cast increases the chances you don't get the battle tactic, because you give your opponent more chances to unbind, and you're better off just casting one spell and making sure you get it.
That is true. Because none of your spells are unbound. Yeah.
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 You can't have a single spell unbound. And it makes Voidstone Orb really good. Because your opponent's like, I'm going to do this battle tactic. You're like, oh, are you?
No, you're not.
But I hope you're using. But I hope you're using something that makes you cast a spell without it being unbound, like double sixes on your primordial dice or whatever they're called. Yeah, so auto unbind's going to be very good. Next one, pick an enemy unit and kill it with damage from a spell or endless spell. So. The wording of this is weird because this is damage, but I think it's because of it's just a rumor. Technically, mortal wounds isn't damage, but whatever.
Kill it with the damage from a spell.
KO.
Well, we're not doing it.
No.
Depends
unless
if they
you take a different endless spell.
Bring back. You want to really take a spell that's going to come back and hit you on the next turn?
No, you take a flaming skull, burning skull thingy, burning head.
Or the
you do it. It does
the other one, the one that only moves in a straight line. That one does D6 wounds. They're all changing in the GHB anyway, so it's kind of a they're all going to be.
Oh yeah, endless spells might change.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah,
kill with damage from a spell. I mean, if there's like a one wound left on something, and you can do an arcane bolt with an arcane foam.
Yeah,
and then maybe.
Yeah. The annoying thing is for Chaos, there's not much we can do to defend against this. If someone picks it.
No, but there might be a super GHB artifact that gives like a ward against spell casting, or a battalion that gives a 5-up spell ignore or something. I don't know.
Yeah, if your opponent picks this, you just use Voidstone Orb.
Yeah, and have a incarnate. No, what's called
Incantor.
Incantor. Yeah.
Even 2.
So you
how many points is he?
2
120. You can fit 3.
The Voidstone Orb.
How many points is
so you have
120?
double outs on bind and
120, I think.
Oh,
let me check.
Well, he's going to change anyway.
Again.
Probably.
Knight Incantor.
I was
120. So take 3.
Oh.
I was actually close to bring him to Worlds instead of the Prime.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, interesting.
Little.
Well, we'll talk about why that was in a while. Cool. Where were we? Next one. Retreat with 2 or more friendly units, and charge with 2 or more friendly units.
Retreat we can do. Charge.
Nighthound is gonna love this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they have retreat and charge.
Yeah,
Well,
retreat and charge is
the
already
same
very
units.
powerful. I don't think it needed to be made better.
Yeah,
of course you'd have to charge with the same
not
units.
Ours, but not for us, this one.
Not
for game.
Maybe if you're doing combat KO, like if because you can retreat out and then you can use disengage, so you can still shoot.
Disengage
so
one boat and then charge in the other frigate.
Charging a frigate that has loads of other stuff in it, it's doable.
Yeah,
but it's a. Okay. And then the next couple of ones are walls of text. Make a charge with 1 or more friendly heroes and one or more friendly battle line, and at least one of those units is still within 3 inches of an enemy unit at the end of the turn. So you've got to charge with a hero and a battle line, and then not kill the thing you charge. Or kill the thing you charge, but pile in to range or something else. And hope they don't then pile in onto you and kill you.
It's doable, but I don't know if I want to. Like, I want to charge with a frigate and Ender Riggers, but I don't want anything to stay alive because if they hit back, the Ender Riggers are dead. So
yeah, true.
Yeah. Or they hit back and kill the hero, or they.
Yeah. So I don't know. Usually you want to kill what you hit. So. Yeah.
Or they pull wounds so they're not within 3 inches of you anymore, and then you don't get the battle tactic, and then they pull their the dead guys. So I mean, there's play with that one to be tactical with things, so which is interesting. Yeah. Like a smart player can do some clever stuff to stop you getting it. I think it's going to benefit more survivable units, which
this is more your OPR tactics or something.
Yeah. And lastly, pick 3 different friendly units on the battlefield and have those units wholly within 6 inches of a different board edge, and at least 2 of them wholly outside your territory.
Well, that we can do.
Like AO can do.
Yeah.
So I pick a boat and put it in the corner and declare the boat is within 6 of that board edge and the crew is within 6 of the other board edge. Does that work?
Yeah, that's clever. That's good. I didn't think of that.
And then
they're both outside your territory.
Yeah, and then the third one in my backfield is just gonna run.
I mean, does it just say 6 inches? Oh, does it say any board edge? Because you could just literally stand in a corner and then just go...
that's what I said.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But you need 3 board edges.
6 inches, they just have to be... Yeah.
Another guy somewhere else. Yeah, okay. Doable.
Yeah. It also depends on the...
It's just not so easy.
Territory.
Yeah.
So I can see...
there's no corners to get to.
Still, with the book battle tactics, there's still 5 or 6 easy ones. You can do...
And plus what you do is you do...
Opening salvo is easy. You can do blast them to smithereens, usually is an easy one. You can do the cast 1 spell with a spell bottle. You can do this one.
Mm-hmm.
And you can do have more friendly units wholly outside your territory than friendly units within. So I think we're good.
Plus
the one get out of the boat, get back in the boat shenanigans. So that's another.
Because what you do is you do this one to go into a corner, and then the next turn you get out of the boat where you got into that corner, and then the next turn you get into the boat.
No, you stay out, and you have more friendly units wholly outside your territory. Then you get into you make a gun hollow compartment with 2 small heroes, and they're just gonna do this battle tactics all day.
Yeah.
They're not gonna take part in the battle. They're just gonna jump around and do battle tactics. Okay. Interesting.
But these are rumors, so we don't know if these are true. But they're highly specific.
I'd say a good source.
So...
we got a reliable source.
Okay. We won't say any more than that. Cool. So,
did the sources,
was there any other news?
Pardon me? Svend?
Did the sources said anything about the ender spells?
No. Just that
about Geminids.
Geminids are going to be stupid good because they stop you from using commands for the entire turn.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's
that
very
would be
good.
Very good.
Yeah.
Like no commands in the turn. That's good.
Basically raw. But
it's a raw from the hero phase until the battle shock phase.
Yeah.
It's like the Gobapalooza spell,
And it also blocks redeploy, which is cool, and Unleash Hell.
Unleash Hell, all defense, all attack, Inspiring Presence, everything.
Can't do any of that stuff. That's really good. If that's true. It'd be interesting to see what happens with Soul Screen Bridge.
Yeah, I was thinking about the same thing.
100 points.
I just finished making a really cool KO one, so hopefully they won't ruin it.
The bridge can only take 10 models
we'll
now.
see.
Yeah, combined 10 wounds.
Yeah.
Yeah, busy. Is there any other news at all? Don't think so. It's all 40k stuff, isn't it?
40k apparently is not so great, from what I heard.
40k is using Age of Sigmar points. Everyone hates it.
Yeah, so the people in my club who are very competitive 40k tournament players, they all stop playing and they're starting AoS now.
Oh.
Nice.
I think I'm happy, but
So
I was a bit
just to be
shocked that it's
clear,
that bad.
they're unhappy that 40k has got more like AoS, so their solution to that is to play AoS.
I think they're a bit shocked that they lost so much rule depth. I mean, 40k was a swamp of rules. There's so much stuff. And if you're
It was
into that kind
bloated.
of thing, yeah, you can find the broken shit and, come up with special things. And I think they made it much more beginner friendly and easier, and they feel like it's a bit too easy, or there's not enough strategy behind it now. I don't know. And apparently now some things are crazy overpowered, other things are not. But that's a balancing thing, I think.
Although they've already nerfed something, haven't they? So we'll see.
But yeah, good news for AoS.
Okay, so let's move on to our main subject then, because we've already done 40 minutes, which is, that took longer than expected, especially since half of it's rumors. So, Max, this is your list. We'll go through your stuff first, and then we're on to Sven's. We're not going to do the whole going through every battle because that's going to take too long.
No, and no one cares about that, especially with a new GHB next week. So yeah, a classic Barak Urbaz Thunder list. I looked at Thunders and said how many can I fit, and I decided it's 35. With
You decided it wasn't the maths that worked that out. You chose.
Well, I wanted to play my NAR list with 10 Thunders in a frigate, and then the party boat with Brock and the riggers and stuff like that in the frigate. Yeah. But then I said, no, if Thunders are super good, we should do the safe bet and just play this. And it was good, but as we'll see later, maybe a meta breaker list would have been better. So Admiral, double chemist, 50 Thunders and an Ironclad, 15 Thunders with the bridge, 10 Arcanauts, and another 5 Thunders as screens, although the 5 Thunders, depending on the matchup, they can go inside the Grunstock Gunhauler with a chemist, usually with the spell bottle chemist, so if I don't use it first turn, I can move forward and I can send out the bridge further apart. Soulskin Bridge for free. And I went the way with high drops, so 9 drops, which was good as most of these heavy Thunder lists were 10 drops or more. So I had that benefit, but thinking back, I should have gone 1 drop.
This could have been.
This could have been a 1 drop easily.
This is exactly the same as the list the Australian team used, except they made it a 1 drop instead of doing.
And looking back in my matches, I did it because I wanted sharpshooters and I wanted the burst grenade, and then I took a warlord because I had the units. But in the end, I used the burst grenade maybe twice, and I shot once with sharpshooters at a hero. Because with all these Thunders, usually you don't shoot at heroes, you just shoot at.
You shoot things around
big
heroes,
threads.
Then you shoot the hero.
And the 5 Thunders was nice because it's another source of suppressing fire, so you can have these 5 just shoot a unit.
Also
and I did, and they are screen, and I have I made 5 wounds, roll over your bravery, bam, you're -1 to hit, which is it's cute, but they're a good screen. It's 2,000 points. I could put another 10 Arcanauts instead of the Thunders and maybe get Triumph, but in this case it was just maximum Thunderers, 4 up rally and +1 to wound. Trust your guns, reroll 1 hit of 1, and then without our ships we're not, so you can fly high and get them out. The Thunders, so you can deploy within 6 of your screen. It's very straightforward.
Yep.
It does what it does.
So what did you use the
Deploy
grenade
destroy.
What did I use the grenade on? On the Gobblepalooza. My first game against Yorin. And I didn't use it in that much. I didn't use it in that much. No. I think I used it on some Chaos Knights, on 10 Chaos Knights. They had a 6 award. So, but yeah, I mean, usually you have enough firepower. If I would have played Fire Slayers, yes, definitely you want the burst grenade. But I didn't.
Yeah.
So.
There's a question from the chat. How does this list win against Cool Boys? The spoiler alert is it doesn't.
It doesn't. Because of the initials, J and S. I don't know if this is J, the fantastic opponent.
Oh, is he the Cool Boys player that beat you?
I don't know. Maybe he is. I don't know. He was called J, or he is called J from Team Wales. Hello, if it's you.
Yeah.
Great match. Yeah, well played. It doesn't, because if they're in terrain and you cannot see them at all, it's hard to shoot them. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I put some other stuff, because one of the things that we should, I mean, everyone knows what Worlds is, presumably by now, but it's a teams game. So you have pairings, and it's quite complicated because it's not just pairing into other factions, but it's pairing into drops, it's pairing into a battle plan as well. Max, do you want to explain sort of the full details of exactly how it worked?
Okay, so it's a 8-man teams event. We play 4 battle plans each round. So there's always 2 pairings that are going to play the same battle plan. We know ahead the sequence, so our first they're gonna play Jaws of Mork, Jaws of Gallet, and next one's gonna play this and that and that. And to help your pairing, so who's gonna play against who? You have a defender. They put down 2 attackers. You can look a video on the Honest Wargamer that explains it much better than I could. But it's a lot of pre-thinking that determines, I think, 50% of the outcome of the round before any dice are thrown. Which means that the lists are very skewed. You're not going to play a single tournament list that's going to be good against most things, but you're going to play it. It's going to be good against these things, and it's going to be bad against these 2 matches, but I'm going to try avoid them not pair against these matches. And then these battle plans and so on and so on. And to help the pairing, what we do is estimations beforehand. So each player, each list says, I think I'm going to be good on these battle plans. I'm going to be bad on these ones. For example, here, these are mine. Presence of Idols, Path of a Champion, Jaws of Gallet. These are, I thought, good for me because Path of a Champion, I can do a lot of battle tactics with my book. Jaws of Gallet is good. I have the mobility, and Presence of Idols is good because I have good idols. Whereas only the Worthy is not so good because I don't have good. With my high drop, I struggle to get my Galician champions on the points and then hold them. And position overpower also. I cannot get my Galician champions on the outside places, so they were not so in my favor. The other ones were in my favor, and the twist and turns is just a 10 because it's random. It's in the middle. Should be in the middle. And then what we also did, we knew the opponent lists beforehand, so we went through. That's what we did as a team. We went through estimations against these lists on all these battle plans. So I think it's over 2,000 combinations that I estimated beforehand, and we use the system between 1, which is very bad, and 5, which is very good. Others use, I'm going to get 0 to 20 points because we use a differential system in the scoring. There's different ways, but it's always the same from red to green, basically. And it gives you an idea in the pairing.
And so, Svend, you had a document as well that your teams had. Would you guys say that every team had a document of this, of some sort of?
Yeah.
Would you guys say that every team had a document of?
Yeah. I think so. Yeah.
This time, yes. Last in Milan, not everyone had it.
No, but I think the teams this year came way more prepared than did the last 2 times. So, yeah. Can I ask you a question, Max? Do you put points against each army on each battle plan?
Yes.
That's a lot.
2,074
there's a lot of
estimations, I think.
Okay.
There's a lot. So what I've done for this screen share
this
is
army, this list, I'm gonna say it's a 3.5 or a 4,
Yeah.
and then I'm gonna deduct a few points for those battle plans which are bad. Or is it 1 drop or high? I'm lower drop, so I can actually alpha them. Maybe it's a better. Then it depends on the list. Then, so you need to really look at each list. What does it do? How many drops is it? Does it have it? Is it not? Is it just Zinch? But is it? Can you summon blues, or can you only summon chickens? Blah 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 blah. Does he have a sigil not, and so on. So you really need to look at every list. It takes you quite some spare time to do it. Yeah.
So we also do that, but we do it if we are playing against England in round 2. We will look at the 4 battle plans, and then we adjust the points on the battle plans.
So in the break before that.
In the break and in the evening. So we don't do it before. But
no, we did it before. So because I know my people and they're not going to do it, and then everything's done. And I have a document ready. But the nice thing that happened during pairing, you look at this table, and people live on their phone kept changing estimations. Like, no, I'm not good against. And you're about to put down a card, and then the thing drops from green to red, and I was like, who's messing with the table? Because everything keeps changing.
Yeah.
So for next year, we need to like lock the table once pairing starts, so people cannot start changing their estimations.
Okay.
Yep.
So I should explain as well what I've done here is I've looked through Max's document and I've put an average because Max, you had, as you just explained, one Lumineth list you might have had a different rating compared to another one, and I've also converted it into a 20 system rather than out of 5, just because that's what Sven's had and everyone's familiar with the 20 thing, so I figured why not have them both the same. So what we have here on the right is actually what happened. So then we had the battle plans. Unless I've made a mistake.
The 14 should be with Fleshy too. Yeah. I didn't play against Lumineth. Should be one up. So in the estimate for Fleshy to fall, all the Fleshy to lists that were there weren't that many. I estimated 16 points from your calculation then. I got 14 because Battle Planet was position over power, which is very in their favor because they can just summon a Galician champion on the side objectives, and so he scored heavily in the first turns, and then I caught up. This was against Patrick from Team Canada. Lovely game.
And a good list.
It was a fantastic list. If you don't kill all those stupid horrors, there was the second unit left 1 standing on 2 wounds, and they all came back.
Yeah,
as he told me that was gonna happen, and it did.
Yeah, I also tried that in a practice game against the list. You need to one-shot the 9.
Yeah, I one-shot 9. I wanted to one-shot the other 9, and then two wounds were left. And they all came back. But well played from me. Then I played Cruel Boys. Should be a good match, but it was the terrain and the vulture staying alive on 2 wounds after a shot with half my army meant an 8-point swing in the last round, because it was my grand strat I didn't achieve. He achieved his. I didn't score my battle tactic, and I didn't score a point, I think, or he did something like that. So it was a lot of points in that last round. That broke me, but well played from him. KO against most lists, I had a good matchup because I had screens and some of them only had 1 screen. And I played against Mitch from Team Holland or the Netherlands on stream. If you want to watch it back, it ended up in a draw, and he got the minor victory because he got his grand strat and I didn't. But points wise, we were equal. It was a very interesting game. He went all in for a double turn, killed my screens. His army was in front of me, and if he doesn't get the prio, I probably win high. He gets a prio, and he managed to get a draw. So that was cool. Gloomspike gets mostly average for me, but Yorin played it very well on Jaws. So he kept bringing back units, and he kept deleting my my objectives on Jaws of Gallet. So that in the end was a big win in his favor. Slaves to Darkness, usually an average, because if the Varangard get to your Thunders, they with double activation, they just go through them. But this was on Nidus paths, so I was able to avoid them and jump. My Gunhollow won me that game because he just jumped around, taking objectives. So I won that against the Polish player Damien. And Beast of Chaos, which was my worst matchup, I estimated a 1, because it was Beast of Chaos with Be'lakor. So Be'lakor can take out half your army, because if he tells the Ironclad he cannot fly higher than 15 Thunders, then Ironclad don't do anything. And Beast of Chaos is just hard if they pull your screens and then they get into your boat and kill everything. On twists and turns.
On twists and turns.
On twists and turns. So this was just, I'm going to play this and maybe I get 2 points. And this was John from the Scottish team, and he was very unlucky with his 9 Bulgur, charged in first round, and killed 2 Thunders, and he lost 6 Bulgurs.
Ouch.
And then I just tabled him, but the objectives were always off for me and on for him, so that way he still scored points, but it wasn't 17. I won 13-7. So that's a mistake there.
Crystal Turns is a
7 points for me. Yeah, because of the stupid battle plan. So overall, I was happy. I think from estimations and battle plans, I was supposed to score 60 points. I think I scored 56, so it was okay for me.
Okay.
As an event, personally.
I guess there's a lot of questions we can ask about this. Sorry, go ahead, Sven.
And overall, which place did Germany end?
14 out of 24. So we did not improve from last year. We came 12th out of 22. This year 14 out of 24. So we're dead in the middle, stuck in the middle. We thought we were much better prepared, and we were better prepared, but the problem was everyone else also stepped up their game. So equal. We had close matches. So against Wales, we lost I think by 4 points. But then we won against Poland and against the Dutch also by a few points. So it was very even. Yep.
So there's a lot of questions I have, both of you in some way. But how much of it do you think the pairing process just decides whether you win or lose?
I'd say 50%.
So when you say win or lose, do you mean the match
or the
round?
Your individual players match. But I guess also the round as well, though.
The round, I'd say 50%, because it's still a dice game. Things can happen, like John screwing up his Bulgurs. That can happen. But personally, for your match, it decides a lot, because these are very usually in teams. The Danish did it very well. They didn't go that route with all this, but usually it's a very predetermined one way list. It's all the Thunders in your face are going to shoot you. Beast of Chaos, I'm going to come out everywhere and have a lot of Bulgurs. A Techless Castle. All the Squig Herd in the middle. Like those kind of lists. And if they get their good matchup, then they're going to win.
I think also the pairings have a pretty big impact on the match. But the battle plans also have a pretty big impact on the match. But it's a dice game, so you can easily lose a green matchup or win a red one. So
I think it's still a dice game and a skill game, but the skill is very, very high. Everyone is like you're not gonna have this effect that you maybe have a tournament. You're gonna play someone and I played once against KO. Okay, you're gonna know you have an advantage because he's not gonna know what's gonna happen. But they're mostly people, they know exactly what your list does. They're not even asking you, what artifact, what trait. They know everything because they have 2 months ahead of the tournament.
They've read
analyzed lists. They've read it. They studied it. They tested against it.
They know the game plan.
So did you find that in most cases, both not just yourselves but your team and well, and other teams as well, they did sort of find their results matched up with their estimations, or did you have like one player in a team that like, well, their estimations were rubbish?
We had one or two players that their results didn't match the list because it was individual misfortune on dice or something like that. But for example, our Gits and our Luminef, I thought beforehand they'd take more points, but in the end they did not take as many points. But that also might be because everyone expecting you to bring a Squig Herd Gits list and Sentinels Techless list. That's what people expect because they are very strong lists in the meta. So they weren't, and I had the same feeling with KO. Like when I went into the pairing, I said, well, I have 2 easy matches here, and the other ones are all like 50-50. Because people know KO are coming, all these funders are coming, and they have lists that can handle this.
I heard there were a lot of lists that were designed to counter KO at Worlds, because they were so relevant and such a threat at that point. It was like every team had their this is our anti-KO guy. This guy fights those guys.
So which list do you think counts KO at Worlds?
From what I heard, so a lot of the Gits lists were geared towards that.
Yeah.
It's just the big Squig herd that rallies and has
just,
2 wounds.
They trade much better than you. I think personally, Beast of Chaos is a very hard match for this kind of KO list. And there was a few teams had a Skaven list that was specifically designed to nil deploy, come out with Tankwall and the Flamers, with Storm Fiends and all the shooting and rattling
Finland, I think it was,
guns.
right?
Finland and Spain, I think, both had that list.
Spain.
I think Luke Morton came up with that list. It's an anti-KO list. So,
to be fair, Luke Morton came up with like half the lists at that event.
I don't know about that, but yeah, a few of them. And I also think the Vanguard heavy list is not an easy match, but it depends on battle plan.
Agree.
Because once they get into you, then they go for you.
Okay, so when writing your list, did you have specific factions or battle plans in mind that you thought, I want to be good at these, knowing that there's a pairing process and things?
Battle plans, not so much. There was 2 I tried to avoid, and they were the Galician champion ones. So position of power and only the Worthy. And armies I wanted to avoid. Yeah, those I mentioned. But more specifically, I wanted to play against Tzeentch because I have the firepower to kill the horrors and with sharpshooters kill the heroes. I never played against Tzeentch. They never picked me as an attacker against Tzeentch, obviously. I would have liked to play Slanesh unless there was Be'lakor in it. And I would have liked to play Fireslayers, Luminef, Flesh Eaters, Daughters, that kind of matches, because presumably easier. So, but then in the end, I often said, okay, I'll take this match so no one else has to play.
Okay, that was going to be my other question, was for both of you really, when you were doing the pairings, was there ever a sort of a game theory thing, was like, okay, well, we'll just sacrifice this player, this one match?
I know there's a bus driver on
Bus
Team
boy.
Denmark, the bus boy. Was it Morten?
Our Slave to Darkness player was the bus guy. He took some bullets from us so we can get some good matchups. So he's probably the MVP of the team to keep them hit in the right space and keep going. So it's quite funny because I think the last day he get like something 40 points or 10 points in total, and that's actually the amount of points we win world with. So So yeah, it's just a statement that says that each point is really important.
It is, and that's what makes a team event so interesting. Because even if you're going to lose, you're still going to play defensively and try to get maybe a battle tactic and 1 point. Don't make it a 20-0. Make it a 3-17 or 4-16, and that's a win for you if you deny those points.
Yeah.
I don't know so much about a boss boy. We had one list that was maybe up to the meta, which was the Einar Deepkin. He still scores a few points, but we usually try to get him. Like he had 2 green matchups. We said, "Oh, you play this. At least you get a win out of it." Whereas maybe we should have, okay. You only have yellow matchups. Take the red one, so no one else has to take that one. Yeah, but there's definitely that fault in pairing. Absolutely.
We also have, I think it was one of the rounds, I can't remember which one, Casper, the Beast of Chaos player, actually said he wants to get under the bus to play more freely. Can you say that? Yeah.
Yeah.
So we don't have the pressure on him.
Absolutely.
So,
it's like if you bring KO, they expect you to bring a 20-0, and it's a lot of pressure in your game. Whereas if you say, if you get 2 points, we're happy. Yeah, exactly. If you play much freely, you can't. That was my match against Beast. Like I can't. Like it's a 1. If I get 2 points, I'm happy. So that was easier for me in that way. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Before we move on to Sven's, I've got 2 questions. First of all, Max, do you think there's anything you should have done different in your list, or do you think the list was just
1 drop?
Yeah.
So because in a few matches I didn't have the choice. For example, the mirror against Mitch, and which I don't know what other matches, but it just gives you the often just to have the option. Because sharpshooters, as I said, in my matches it didn't make much of a difference. The burst grenade probably not as much as I think the benefit of having choice would have been more valuable than having the burst grenade. So that would have been a choice I would have made. Yeah.
Okay.
In hindsight, yeah.
And then the other question was actually for Sven, but obviously because Sven, you went through the same process of making estimations. How much do you agree with Max's estimations?
Not that much
for the faction rating.
No, it's quite interesting.
Okay, I should have done a comparison screen.
Yeah, but I didn't send the battle plans to you. But yeah, I'm actually looking at it right now because if you go to back to Max's, but I don't know, it's not the same list. Max has more firepower than I do. But for example, I don't want to play on Lurkers, and I actually think Jaws of Galette and is a really bad battle plan for my list, and he has it pretty high up. And Price of Galette I also have pretty low down there. So yeah, and I think it's only the worthy with the heroes, right?
Yeah, and a position over power.
Yeah,
is a weird one.
Yeah, position over power is.
But position over power, if you're 1 drop, then it's easier because their deployment is not as big, so you can reach everything with an alpha. So that changes the estimation.
Yeah, I don't have a position over power that good for me either. But only the worthy I have good for me because I have like 6.
Yeah, you have
five.
Yeah,
five
more heroes. Yeah,
exactly. So.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, so let's move on to Sven's list then. These are Max's results, but we sort of covered them already.
Yep.
So Sven, this is your list, which is also Barak Urbaz. It's 1985 points, and it's also high drop with 11 drops. So you have Settle the Grudges and Honor is Everything for the 4+ rally and the +1 to wound, Trust to your guns, and Without Ships for North. So basically all of that's the same. But then the rest of the list is very different.
Max.
Okay, so lots of heroes. Admiral with X1 stock, leadership of the Alpha and the burst grenade. an Endremaster on foot, a Navigator with a Voidstone Orb, 2 Chemists, one with a spell in a bottle, and a Celestant Prime. Prime time. 10 Arcanauts, 15 Thunderers, 10 Thunderers, and then 3 Endriggers with Grapnel, and a Frigate with Prudency Shoots, and that's the flagship and Soulscreen Bridge. And that's all in a Warlord and Command Entourage to get the extra artifacts and Sharpshooters. So, first big question is
second edition memories.
Yeah, why did you choose to take Prime?
It was actually so the short story is that when I played KO, I played like the normal list with the 30 Thunders, Ironclad, and all that kind of stuff in the beginning. Actually, I didn't do that. I played with 2 Frigates. But I think it was quite hard to get on the objectives and keep the objectives. So sometimes when I play in my local club, people they didn't try to kill me. They just screen me out of the objectives all the time, and then I just started to lose the game, because then I can shoot a point, the models of a point, and next turn I can take the point, and then I can, do that in the sequence, and then I will lose. So the Prime actually helped me to shoot something of the objectives and get on the points, so I don't get behind in points in the beginning at the game. And also, I think 15 Thunders and 10 Thunders and the Frigate is enough firepower in the list to the damage check, is my experience. So the Prime isn't really a guy to kill stuff. It's more a centerpiece in my army to lock something in and get on the point to score a lot of points for me, make battle tactics and all that kind of stuff.
Because he's reliable, because you just charge. You make your charges. He's not a risk.
12-inch charge.
Yeah.
So
that's very good. Yeah.
Were you deploying him on the table, or putting him in reserve and then bringing him on?
I think I always deployed the Prime in the sky. Yeah.
And did you normally bring him down early? Because it sounded like you mentioned about using him early, or were you waiting to charge off his hammer?
I think against my first game against Canada, I think the Prime came down in turn 3 because I play against Slaves of Darkness, so it made more sense. And the battle plan was pretty much in my favorite. We played Battle Line Strong, I think it was. But else, the Prime came down in turn 1 and 2. But most 1, 2. I think you get more value out of the Prime with the mortal wounds if the Prime comes down in turn 1. So
Okay.
And the threat range is 24, right? So the Prime can move 12, charge 12. So
yeah.
And that's
okay.
Yeah. So
were you ever relying on the Prime to kill things, or were you shooting stuff off and then the Prime was just going to finish stuff off that you've already injured or killed?
I didn't rely on the Prime to kill stuff, because I used the Prime as a point getter to get the points, to get up the objectives. So the damage, for example, I played against the Fire Slayers 3 times at Worlds, and the Prime is pretty nice there to give more wounds on the heroes in the bubble, standing in. But I didn't rely on the Prime to kill anything. The Prime was only in the list, not only, but was in the main objective for the Prime was to get the points.
Okay.
And score.
But obviously, for him to get onto a point, he needs to, unless it's completely empty, he needs to charge.
Yeah.
and then you used the 12-inch charge. So were you killing stuff and then moving the Prime onto it next turn, or were you just running him on, or were you sort of weakening things with the Thunderers and then he was going to go in and do the last couple of wounds? Or
all of them. It really depends
Okay.
on the situation.
Yeah,
But
fair enough.
sometimes you can leave 3 wounds on the objective and the Prime can charge in. Sometimes the Prime can just move in on the objectives and you have the ship in the other side to drop out and shoot, take the Soul Scream Bridge forward. So it really depends on the situation. But the Prime was really flexible.
Okay.
So I don't know if you can make the comparison, but Max also have he have the small boat which do a little the same thing, I think.
Yeah, usually
and
500 and a chemist. After the bridge gone off, it's the gun holder. You can move him 18-inch. You can even, with the Admiral, give him run and shoot in charge, so he can move up to 24 inches. And then combat disembark 5 dudes and the hero. So it's 9 wounds on an objective. So that's nice to have.
Yeah. The main reason I asked was because I've used the Prime myself in the past, and I've heard from other people that use them is you can have a tendency to whiff.
Yes.
Which, So did you ever have that happen, or when you was meant to go in and like did the last 2 wounds on something and he didn't, or?
I don't think the Prime with the attacks, but each time I want the Prime to lock something in close combat, the Prime just died all the time. So, yeah.
So he wasn't survivable enough for pinning. Okay.
No.
And the 3 engine riggers with the grapnel, was the grapnel there mostly for like desecrate their lands and stuff, or you using them as objective grabbers as well?
Oh, I never used it. I should just have kept the normal weapons on the Endrick riggers. Yeah. But the riggers was also in the list to help with the objective games on the on one of the flank with the Prime and So my focus with the list was more to play the point game than just raw damage output. Yeah.
So points is how you win. Points is eventually how you win the game. So.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Guys, any questions about the list before we move on?
No, I mean I played against it, so what I like is the engine riggers are battle line in this. So even if he has a few of the heroes away from the boat, he can still protect them against shooting with just the 3 engine riggers. They're fast, and first turns he can make sure his frigate doesn't die because he can heal it with the engine riggers and the engine master. That's neat. Yeah.
So actually, if I want to make one change to the list, it would be I would take the Endrick Master out of the list and put another navigator in, because so that I think sometimes you want to what you call the weather thing the navigator can do, half the movement.
Yeah.
And sometimes you put the navigator with I have the auto unbind on it.
Yeah.
And you put it in a position that it could get killed pretty easily.
Yeah.
So it would be nice to have another navigator you can put in that situation, position where it can have the move, but it's not that devastating for your list if the opponent take the turn and kill it. So
yeah, back up for half move.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the voice turn up doesn't do anything if it's outside of 30 inches. So that's a good point. Cool. So let's have a look at your sort of estimations. I should have done a comparison to yours and Max's, but a couple of things that jump out is you rated Slaves of Darkness and Beast of Chaos very low. I think Max did have them low, but not as low. similarities is having Fire Slayers high, Lumineth high, Gitz relatively high. You both put KO sort of in the middle of the pack, the mirror matches. Which
it's a mirror.
Fair enough.
It's a mirror, and it's wonky.
Interesting that your Gloomspite is pretty high.
Yeah, it's because that the Prime and the weather thing from the Navigator is pretty good to snipe the
heroes.
The heroes, the dude who give them all wounds to
the Squig boss. 4 wounds. Yeah,
exactly. So if I'm lucky, I can one-shot one of them. And also there was a lot of Squig herds list that only bring one of the bosses.
Yeah.
So that's why.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. One thing that jumped out to me, I can't remember how Max had it rated, or if maybe I didn't have it on screen, was Daughters of Cain are relatively low. I've always thought Daughters of Cain have been a relatively easy matchup for KO.
Especially if you can half move the Shadow Queen. For me, Daughters usually, and I played a match, even a small tournament before Worlds with my list, and it was over after 2 turns, basically. So
I didn't test that much, I guess, against Daughters of Cain, so that's why.
Yeah, plus there were two guys that brought Daughters there. Yeah,
and one of them was Sweden. So if I play against the Swede, I will just win.
Okay, you heard it here first.
Okay. Okay. I mean, that does lead on to an interesting question, which is, if you hadn't tested against lists that much, did you more on the side of the caution with your ratings then?
So, do you remember the what you call it? All my ratings I sent to you.
Yeah,
that was like
the estimation sheet.
Yeah, estimation sheet.
Yeah.
That was like a 10.1, 10.5, and 10.1 means I didn't test it that much.
Okay.
Yeah. That's why it's there. And and it was 10.5. It means there's a big swing in the game for us.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, with like priority roll or something. Yeah. Interesting. So you obviously play Fire Slayers a lot, and you have them rated, as well. You're the team the faction you do the best against. I guess Fire Slayers weren't a common list that was taken. Do you think that was quite lucky that you played against teams that had Fire Slayers and you were able to match up against them, or?
I think Rune, Alexander, and Kasper make the pairings for Team Denmark, and I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how it worked and how I get into them, but I assume they defend with Fire Slayers and we attack with me and I don't know another one, and maybe they're thinking Fire Slayers can come out of the game with 5 points. That's good for them, and they will just remove KO from the pairings.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. You did lose one of the games against Fire Slayers, so.
Against.
So I guess the question is, how'd that happen? Okay. Jeremy Vaser.
Yeah, for US. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. It's no shame losing to Jeremy, I guess.
No.
It's not your typical Fire Slayer list. It's a very unique list.
Okay.
But I think I made a mistake. I don't think I made a mistake that gave Jamie the chance to move some of the heroes and something. I don't know the names of all the heroes, but some of the heroes into my...
You had a lot of Grimroth Berserkers.
Yeah, and the bad boy, the big dude. I gave him a chance to... Godric got one-shotted with the burst grenade.
Yeah,
so that was but I gave him a chance to, on a double turn, he could come in and wipe the 15 funders and some other stuff, and because I made that stupid jump with the Soul Scream bridge. So, yeah, that was my mistake, and he went for it and got it, and yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, it's a very unusual list with all the Grimroth Berserkers because they trade very well because they cost 110 points. You send them in, they fight. When they die, they fight again. They can hit pretty hard.
And heroic action make them to fight. So yeah,
fight in the hero phase. You can Tunnel Master 1 and give him the +2 to charge. So he's a 7-inch charge. Then he gives himself double attacks, goes in and just murders something. So there's a few tricks you can do with him. And it's the problem also for KO is, I think, for these lists, if they have a lot of heroes, like you need to start shooting them, but you cannot divert your firepower too much because then everyone's going to stay alive on one wound. So you need to overcommit to shoot one dead and the other one dead, and it's going to take you longer to actually kill the unit. Or kill all of them. So yeah, it's a clever list, and I mean Jeremy is a top player, so well done.
Agree. And a nice guy.
Yeah, absolutely. Friend of the show. That was Jeremy.
We had him on the show before.
A couple of times.
And he did better against Slaves to Darkness than you expected. Is that because there were different Slaves to Darkness lists, or
it was
a battle plan,
it was both. So the guy played 6 Vanguards and 2x3, so it was more easy to grind down.
Was this Oliver?
Yeah, from Canada. Yeah,
Oliver Dempsey.
And also the battle plan, we played battle lines drawn, so I could kite more and remove stuff. So yeah. 3 Vanguard
are thankful because you can just you can kill 3 Vanguard rather easily.
Yeah, I think I used the Prime in turn 3 to kill 3 of them with some Ender Griggers, and so and the Beast of Chaos, that was quite fun. He one-shotted my Chemist in turn 1.
Oh, with before you got the bridge D6 model.
Yeah, before I got the bridge off. Yeah. And turn 2, I can't remember the pull he made, but he made a pull so the 9 bulls could charge into my boat and kill it. So I was stuck. So I actually think the 8 points from that game is a win. But
yeah,
absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, you both rated the games against Beast of Chaos as basically losses, or
Yeah, the only good rating I had was Realmstone Cache. Whereas there's only one objective in the middle, and they're not going to get it first turn. So I'm just going to jump in the middle. No, usually what you can do is you can move with the bridge and boats and everything. You can move your entire army into the middle box, 18-inch away from all corners. Then they get the turn. Then you hope you get priority, so you give it away, so they need to come, and they don't get a double from turn 2 to turn 3, because they need to bring everything turn 2. But the problem is still, then you need to survive that one charge, where everything charges with +2 from, they need a 7 or they need a 5, and they can charge again in the combat phase, and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
So you just need to survive that, then win the priority, and then you can start cleaning up. Because then the Bulgos, they just die. But then still you need to jump around and clean all the little 10-man core units on objectives and so on. So it's still a tough game, but it's winnable. But if your opponent knows what he does, and if he's lucky with dice roll, it's very hard.
It's a game that quite fast it's going to become a point game. So you really need to get some points in the early game, or else you'll just lose.
Yeah, and it's a game that's often decided priority turn 2 or 3.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
So,
and then if we circle back to your list, is there anything retrospectively that you would change?
Only the
Were you pretty
Etric
happy with
Master for the Navigator.
Yeah. You mentioned before, yeah.
I
Yeah.
think that's
And then everything
and
else. Same.
the weapon option on the Riggers.
Endriggers, yeah.
Yeah.
Although you can guarantee, that's the sort of thing you can guarantee. If you changed it, then you'd end up in a situation where you'd be like, oh, "I wish I had that grapnel launcher."
Yeah.
But
Maybe.
that's sod's law. Okay. So a question for you, Sven, because obviously this was for a team's event. This list. Playing outside of teams, how much different would this list be for more all-comers?
I don't know if I should be honest. I've tried a list before with the double outrun bind and the little boat with 6 Endrick Riggers instead, and that was pretty decent. But I don't think this is. I don't know. To be honest, I think the French or the English KO list is probably better than mine to a single event. Because there's just more damage output. But yeah.
When you say the list is better, do you think it's just better for a team's event or overall? Like, say if you weren't going to a team's event, you were just going to a normal tournament. Sorry, pardon?
Yeah, a normal like a single team event, I think.
Yeah, like for a single event, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's worth analyzing those.
Well, the French is basically my list, but they have 2 10s of Thunderers and a 15 in a 1-drop.
Yeah.
So they need to put 2 10s in the Ironclad, which is handy sometimes because when you disembark, you can put 10 in front and 10 on the back, protect your boat. And it's a 1-drop,
And
Would you agree with that, Max? That the list is probably the best one?
I don't know, because then the French list with the 10, 10, and 15, you have 1 screen of Arcanauts, and if you need more screens, you need to put 10 Thunders, which is already a very expensive screen in my opinion. So I preferred my option to have 5, because if 5 die, then who cares 5? But if 10 die, and 10 can die because it's only 20 wounds, it's already a decent loss, I think. So I'm not sure if I do that.
Okay.
Yeah. You could sacrifice the small boat also, so you have.
You could use a gun hauler as a screen if you need to zone out. But if you want to screen like between buildings, like against the Squig herd, I needed to screen that this Squigs on 25mm bases cannot charge through my my screen. So my screen was a little less than 1 inch apart, so they could not fit through.
Yeah.
Because they cannot fly. So just sometimes you need to make sure that nothing gets into your boat. But then if you 1-drop, then you take first turn. So I don't know. It's a very strong. It's still. I mean, it's Thunders for 135 points. It's a lot of output.
Yeah. Okay. Potentially more than 135 points soon.
Probably. So it's definitely not going to stick with the 5 points because they got rid of those last winter. But our book was written before that, so they kept it. So definitely Navigator is going to go up, Admiral is going to go up, Thunder is going to go up. I hope I hope Arcanauts maybe back down to 90 because that what it used to be in the winter FAQ.
Yeah.
To 90, and maybe Sky Wardens down to 120. Because at the moment, Ender Riggers are cheaper and they're better. So why would I pay 10 more points with Sky Wardens, which are only good in Barak Zone if I need battle line?
That was always the problem with Ender Riggers, Sky Wardens. Is their they pretty much they have very similar roles, and if you change whatever's the most points efficient, you're basically just taking that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they have more range, but if I keep them in the boat to fight, I don't care. They have less rend. They have more attacks, but only 1 rend. But if there's a spell to give 3 rend, I'm gonna look at Skywarns again. Because Skywarns in Barak now are with Brock, getting an extra attack with rend 2 or rend 3. Ooh, that's a nice party boat.
As long as they leave gun haulers alone, I'll be okay.
Now, gun haulers could be cheaper. 170 is steep for what he does. He
Yes.
doesn't kill anything in shooting. Like maybe a single shot, you do 2-3 wounds somewhere, but it's just a teleporting thing for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe down to 150. I mean,
Skywardens are interesting because when the book come out, a lot of people were doing the math and saying, "Oh, they do more damage than Endriggers and the more damage per point." But
it's the 1 rend.
You take into account the heat. It's the rend and also you get the healing with the Endriggers. So
yeah,
and that's good.
The Skywarns, they have the nice things with the get out of combat, jump around, get out of the boat thing. There's some tricks you can do, but
do you think we're going to see more Skywarn spells now with the rend spell?
If the spell comes and we can use it, definitely Skywarns. If they don't go, if Endriggers go up the same points or Skywarns come down, I think we're gonna see at least like 1 unit of 6.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, and there's also that. Oh no, that wouldn't work. I was going to say there was the battle tactic to retreat and charge and stuff, but that wouldn't really help with their ability. I don't think.
No,
so.
Turn.
Unless you're doing MSU and you've got lots of units, and therefore, because Skywardens generally MSU would be better, I think. So having lots of units would be good for that battle tactic.
I mean, if we really lose Galician champion, the shooting protection, MSU balloons with drill cannons are interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know how many you can fit, but I own a lot, so do I don't know, 1 frigate with some balloons inside, a gun hauler with 6 inside, and then the rest is just floating about shooting people.
Yeah. I was going to say, Svend.
Yeah, sorry.
99. Max got too many balloons to count. I was going to say, Svend, obviously you mentioned about having a knight in Cantor, and you nearly took it to Worlds. Obviously, we've seen some of these rumors and things for the new GHB. Is that tempting you to start playing that in Cantor again?
Yeah, I think the double outs on 2 outs on binds sounds pretty solid. And if you go bottom at the turn, the incanter can unbind. It can keep unbinding, right? Or something like that.
Yeah, it can unbind and then unbind again.
If it can unbind and then unbind again, obviously you wouldn't be able to auto bind more than once, but 2 unbinds with your encounter would be in the same turn would be pretty good.
Interesting,
Yeah.
And to answer your question, I think 42 balloons is what I own.
42.
How many did you bring at Milan? No.
Milan, 12 Skywardens and 6 Endriggers and 3 Endriggers.
That wasn't that much.
No, but the 12 were enough for Christopher and his Catacross. He didn't expect that to happen. When they all were back in the day, Barak's on with cogs when you can give them, 14 inch and then charge and extra reroll all hits, +1 to hit, +1 to wound, whatever it was. A lot of damage, and I just yeeted him into his Catacross, and turn 1 he was dead. He didn't believe it.
No.
Then he called the timeout.
I remember.
Yeah, that was fun. Good old days, Skywars. I should have played that list this year. Yeah, surprise people. It doesn't work anymore.
Yeah, I mean the list doesn't work anymore. So
no, but you could do something. I think there was the US team had 3 boats, but only 2 units to put in boats, something like that.
There was
Canada had more units than boats, so that was fun also.
Maybe they'll get a share.
Yeah, I think there was someone who played pure combat. KO, just frigates and Skywarns and engine frigates. I think someone did that.
At Worlds?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the team event. I think someone brought that, and then the Austrian team, Sluki, he played my singles list. So Nar with Brock and a party boat, and then another frigate with 10 Thunderers. So you have a bit of both, which is interesting because the party boat does more damage than the Thunderers, but if someone slaps it, it just falls apart.
Yeah.
So it's very glass cannon. And Thunderers with a 4-up rally is just stupid.
How many times did you use that? The rally on the Thunders?
The rally? A lot. A lot.
Okay.
Because often, it depended what I fought, but if I was sure I could not kill it with the fumigators, I started pulling models from the front, and then you're outside 3 inches. Next turn, rally, you get 5 back. Yeah. Shoot back in. So I use that often, and I also used it quite often on my 5 Thunderers, because it was like 2 left, or 1 left, and then I rallied 2 or 3 back, which was great. But yeah,
I think I used it most on the Arcanauts and the Indrik riggers. So
the Arcanauts usually were just dead when someone shot
I didn't rally that much,
but no, Thunderers, usually, because you start losing a few from, I don't know, mortal wounds or a charge or whatever, and then for 2 turns you're back at 15. It's just.
So which weapon team do you remove first?
Usually the mortar.
Okay.
Because I think it's the weakest. If I already used my rend. Yeah. Well, it depends what I'm fighting. If I'm just fighting elite units, then I don't need the mortar. If I'm fighting a lot of units, then I use the mortar and I take rifles away.
Yeah, I also think it depends on the matchup, but mortars or rifles.
Or the deck sweeper. If I'm deployed and the guy is far away and I don't gonna get him with deck sweepers, I remove deck sweepers and I take mortars. Yeah. It just depends.
Yeah.
Yep. But
doesn't matter that much if you're gonna rally them back, does it?
Usually the fumigators are the last I remove, and the cannon. Because the fumigators, they sometimes they do more damage.
Not remove the cannon.
They do. They're gonna do more damage in combat than in shooting. I had that even. Like people charge me, and then you start doing 9 mortal wounds, 8 mortal wounds, and people are very surprised.
The FAQ on the fumigators was nice.
Worlds.
I did that on the stream against the Ironclad. The Ironclad had 2 wounds left, so I charged in with Thunderers, and I made a 9-inch charge. I lost a few in last word and on the shell. And then I said, okay, we can skip the combat. I'm just gonna roll for the parrot. Okay, here's 1 mortal wound, and I rolled my 3 fumigators and I killed it. Killed the Ironclad. Last 2 wounds just with fumigators. Yep.
So, I think at Worlds, Casper, our guest player, he surrounded an Ironclad with 15 Thunders and an Admiral in it, and killed a frigate. That was also. I've never tried it before.
If that happens, it's hard. Usually, when I use the Ironclad, I get them out. Yeah. Because if someone hits you with the guys inside, it's way too risky.
Yeah. I don't know if he got a double turn or how he could come into the boat like that.
If that happens, it's horrible.
Yeah. Dies. I've never tried it, but it's like you get my.
It's half your army.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like you're almost. It's more than 1,000 points. Yeah, that's horrible. That's usually get out of the boat, because it's too many eggs in one basket. Unless no one can hit you.
Definitely. Yeah. Yeah, you definitely don't want to get that boat surrounded, because it's nasty. Cool. So I think we covered everything. Unless anyone wants to add anything else. Hopefully we're going to get some more GHP rumors soon. Start seeing some stuff. I mean, it's not going to be that long until it's actually available.
So the NDA ends next Saturday.
Oh yeah, it's coming out soon.
So I think tomorrow they're going to announce pre-order on Saturday. So yeah,
The
2 weeks.
Oh yeah, and that's Sunday.
So
evening
the cool content creators, not us, but the other ones that actually get stuff from GW, they're gonna show us the book on next Saturday, I think.
Mhm.
And then
Cool.
the week after you can buy it, or you can
Let's
buy
hope
it and
it's
you get it.
a good season.
Mhm.
Let's hope so. Good battle plans.
Yeah,
Yeah,
hopefully.
it's interesting. So yeah, going out of this tournament now, next weekend I'm at the Austrian GT, so I think 52 or 54 people playing for a golden ticket for
Mhm.
Atlanta.
Ah, yeah.
Nice.
So in Salzburg, Austria. So there's a few people coming, also fans of the show. See you there. And this list is gonna be played.
Are you playing my list?
No, I thought about it, but I decided against it. But I know Charlie, the ref, is gonna be there with this list.
Ah, okay.
The Italian guy,
Okay.
the tall guy. He's gonna play this list.
There is there's one other thing that we have neglected to mention, and you did mention it, but I'm pretty sure it's before we start the show, which is Max and Svend have played each other. So,
Oh yes, yeah, we
do you
played
wanna-
on the
so
Thursday.
we should let people know what happened.
Yeah, and who won?
Sven won. We played Jaws of Gallet, and that was very helpful, that game, because since then I played a few mirror matches, and I played them better.
Okay.
So that was very helpful. No, it was a game of moving screens. And then with this battle plan, I was then starting to remove objectives, and then I lost my ships. He had his frigate, so that was the Grand Strat. And no, it did. No, actually, it was not. You don't have that Grand Strat, but it was mine. And then he took it home on primary, as he said. He scored points and won the game.
Yeah. Cool.
Yep.
Well.
Yeah, I think the mirror
Congratulations,
is.
Svend, on that win.
Thank you. But the mirror is a weird game because you need to screen all the time, and and when you go all in to remove the screen and you don't get the double.
Yeah, I mean it worked for Mitch from the Dutch team. And I played on a one day 2 weeks ago. I played against an Austrian guy, Captain Stefan. He's often also in the chat and follows the show. And he had one screen of Arcanauts. So I said, okay, I'm going to take first turn. There was a frigate with his engine riggers inside. I said, okay, my party boat teleports and then 3d6 charge. And I rolled a 5. I said, reroll. And I rolled a 4. And I lost the game. If I make the roll, I win. If I don't make it, I lose. That's how it works. Yeah, and then I played another mirror last round, and that was it worked, and I won 20-0. So it's a very it's a game that can be over very quickly.
Yeah.
Cool. So I think we covered everything. So I guess we can end the show there, and hopefully we'll get some GHB news soon. Thank you, Svend, for coming on. Congratulations for beating both Max and for your team winning at AoS Worlds as well.
So
2-time world champion.
2 times, yeah.
2 times, yes.
Thank you.
Do you have? Do you do that thing with the team T-shirts where you put a little star on it to show how many times the team's won? Yeah. So you've got 2 stars in your T-shirts now. 2
stars, yeah.
Nice.
So,
2 stars.
Yeah.
We need to put a star in the logo somewhere. Just like, some football teams, they just have a lot of stars around the logo because it's part of the logo.
Yeah.
We're gonna need to do that.
We put them over the logo.
Yeah, you can just be like a European flag of ring of stars around your logo.
I think some football teams have that. Yeah.
It's going to be exciting to see who is going to get the 3rd star.
So, I mean, you have good chances.
How many teams?
I think England has 1, 2, and France has 1.
Well, if you count ETC, but we're not going to count that.
So. Okay, then England have 1, and Denmark has 2.
Yeah. Okay.
But
Yeah, now we'll see next
we'll
year
see.
where it's going to happen and who's going to come and more teams.
Are you coming, Max?
I hope so.
Nice.
If I make the team.
Where is it?
You're
Are
the
there any
captain,
rumors
so-
as to where it might be?
Not
year?
yet. The bidding is still ongoing. So
Okay.
nations can still hand in a bid for where they want to host it, and then there's going to be a voting, and then we'll see.
Who do they have to bribe to win?
Usually
Sepp
not
Blatter?
that. No, that would be Jeremy. He's the commissioner.
Jeremy.
Yeah. The thing is, it's gonna be
Send him a
somewhere
Podolski.
in Europe because people don't want to travel to Australia or the US, and there's more votes coming from Europe than from other parts of the world. So, yeah, it's always hard for those guys. They need to travel a long way, whereas we have shorter ways. I heard the English were interested at one point to host it. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if Spain will bid again. They did last year.
What about Austria?
Austria, they already said they're not gonna do it this year.
What about Germany, Max?
Yeah, I asked the guys, but this year they're already doing the Raccoon Rumble, the big singles event in November. It's maybe next year.
Yeah.
But you need some kind of investing shop or company or something behind it. So like Alliance Open or Game Mat in Prague, or like for the whole business side and renting a place and having at a high standard, and then you need a venue and you need to put down a lot of money beforehand. So I don't know if like private people can still handle the size it has gotten. It's a huge event. It's 150 player at a single event, and it's over 200 people for a teams event. It's a 1 week of Warhammer.
Yeah.
And last year was fantastic. This year was fantastic. Great hotel.
Insane
great
standard.
Tables. The standard was fantastic. There were almost no issues. We had refs. We had everything. And to top that is going to take a lot of effort, a lot of money that you need to put up front and organize it properly. You need a team behind it to actually. Like you cannot have the captain of the hosting nation and two other people it's not gonna work.
No.
It's not your one-day tournament. This is a big event. It's 5 days.
We actually talked about if you put the side to the side that we actually won Worlds, but we talked about it was probably one of the best organized events we have ever been to. So I think the tournament was insane, and the standard is really high if you want to.
It is very well organized, and also the location, everything. The whole package was great. Food was great. Accommodation was great. It was a huge hotel. It was very close to the airport. It was.
I actually
only
got
thing maybe.
Poison.
You did?
Yeah. Thursday.
From
night.
the buffet.
Yeah, exactly. So when the two first
what
games
did you
I
eat?
had, I can't remember, but the two first game on Friday and the first game on Saturday, I went to the toilet all the fucking time.
I know one of the Scottish players had food poisoning.
Yeah.
And he was always gone. Yeah. Okay, that's harsh. The only thing is, it is expensive because the hotel alone was already very expensive. So it is a lot of money involved. But if you don't have a sponsor, it's privately. One thing we thought of that we need to do, and this is one day I'm gonna try to organize this, is to host the event on a cruise ship.
Oh, that'd be
everyone on the one boat. We're gonna have everyone has accommodation. There's a bar, there's disco, there's everything, and then we have the big areas to play, and then hopefully not too harsh of a weather, so the tables are not starting to move. But that could be very fun. So you fly in to one port, everyone gets on the boat drives to I don't know where, and then everyone gets out of get out of boat end of the week somewhere else and fly home. So that could be through party boat. It would be fantastic because everyone is always together, and it's half of the why I like the event is meeting all the people. It's fantastic.
I think the
Everyone-
only thing Worlds is missing right now, it's like the organized after party or something like that. Or
Absolutely.
get together after the event.
Absolutely.
I'm sure
The
it's
Sunday
an opening
night.
ceremony.
We need
Sorry?
an opening ceremony with flags, people
Yeah.
walking in. And we
Mhm.
need, absolutely like a Sunday night party, but many people leave on Sunday nights.
Yeah.
Which also from our team, half of the team left after the last game. So we were sat there a bit, like wanted to have a dinner together, and half of them were gone. So it's a bit, we needed like an after party, absolutely. We did an opening party and an after party.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
Okay.
Walk-in
Right,
songs.
I think we're rambling on now. So, I think, Oh, there was a question from the chat. What would be your walking songs? Would be the national anthem.
Sven,
surely.
what is a Danish song when you get
Free
in?
from Desire this year. This year was Free from Desire.
Okay.
Yeah.
You could
I
each
think
team
the
could use
Canadians always have
their
music.
country's Eurovision song.
No, please don't.
No.
Germany keeps coming last these years. I don't know what's going on there, but they always like dead last. Horrible. I don't know. We'll see. All
You
right.
didn't have a song you got pumped on
I personally, yes, I had Thunderstruck from AC/DC.
this year?
I wanted to play it every time I shot someone with my thunder. Is you've been thunderstruck.
Yeah, that's good.
But I don't know. For the team, we'll see. Okay.
Right. Well, thank you very much, Svend and Max and Krohn, and everyone in the chat that's been watching live, and everyone in the future that will watch this on YouTube or listen on the podcast. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe if you like the show, and subscribe for more Kharadron Overlords and AoS content in the future. See you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.